Listen carefully. History is not made by the smartest people. It's not made by the most talented. It's not made by the lucky. History is made by the stubborn, by people who refuse to quit when it hurts, who refuse to stop when they're tired, who refuse to listen when the world tells them to be realistic. If you can learn to stay stubborn when everything inside you wants to give up, you don't just succeed, you separate yourself forever. This audiobook will teach you one thing: how to outlast pain, outwork doubt, and stay in the fight long enough to create history. Chapter 1. Talent doesn't win, stubbornness does. Talent gets attention. Stubbornness gets results. That's the truth most people don't want to hear, because talent feels exciting. Talent feels special. Talent gives people something to point at and say, they were born with it. But history doesn't care about what you were born with. History only records who stayed. Talent starts the race. Stubbornness finishes it. Read that again. Talent starts the race. Stubbornness finishes it. You have a choice. You can spend your life chasing talent, envying talent, comparing yourself to talent. Or you can build the one trait talent can't replace: the ability to stay. Most people quit not because they can't do it, but because they expected it to be easier. That's the real problem. Not lack of ability. Not lack of intelligence. Not lack of resources. Lack of stubbornness. That's the key. Look closely at how people actually fail. They don't usually collapse. They drift. They slow down. They start missing days. They make excuses that sound reasonable. And then one day, without realizing it, they're out of the race. Not because they weren't good enough, but because they didn't stay long enough. You don't need their permission. You don't need validation. You don't need to be the most gifted person in the room. You need to be the last one standing. Think about this. Every field is full of people who were promising. Promising athletes. Promising creators. Promising entrepreneurs. Promising students. Where are they now? They didn't lose their talent. They lost their patience. They stopped showing up when the results didn't match their effort fast enough. They expected applause too early. They wanted proof before persistence. And when proof didn't come, they quit. Stubborn people don't do that. Stubborn people understand something simple: results lag behind effort. Boys, there is no exception. That's the key. The world rewards long-term pressure, not short-term intensity. Anyone can go hard for a week. Anyone can feel motivated for a month. That means nothing. What matters is whether you're still there when motivation disappears. You have a choice. You can rely on bursts of energy, or you can build a system of discipline. You can wait until you feel ready, or you can act because it's required. You can be impressive early, or inevitable later. It's not about talent. It's about discipline. Look at real progress in the real world. The people who dominate industries, sports, or crafts are rarely the most naturally gifted. They are the most consistent, the most stubborn, the least willing to walk away. They show up when it's boring. They show up when it's repetitive. They show up when no one is watching. And they keep showing up long after others disappear. That's not luck. That's identity. Stubbornness is not aggression. It's not arrogance. It's not loud. Stubbornness is quiet refusal. Refusal to quit. Refusal to negotiate with weakness. Refusal to abandon the standard you set for yourself. You don't need to be special. You need to be unbreakable. Let that sink in. Being special fades. Being unbreakable compounds. Talent is fragile. It depends on confidence, praise, and conditions. When those disappear, talent panics. Stubbornness doesn't care. Stubbornness works in silence. You have a choice. When progress is slow, you can complain or continue. When the gap feels unfair, you can resent or repeat. When the work feels invisible, you can quit or commit. That's the real fork in the road. Every single time. And here's what most people get wrong. They think stubbornness means never adjusting. That's not true. Stubbornness doesn't mean refusing to learn. It means refusing to stop. You can change the method. You can change the strategy. You can change the approach. But you don't change the mission. That's the key. Talent-focused people protect their ego. Stubborn people protect the process. Ego says, if I'm not good immediately, maybe this isn't for me. Discipline says, I'll get good because I'm staying. You don't need their permission to improve. You don't need approval to keep going. You don't need reassurance to stay consistent. You need standards. Standards don't care how you feel. Standards don't negotiate. Standards don't wait. And when standards meet time, history starts forming. Think about endurance. Not physical endurance. Identity endurance. The ability to stay the same person when nothing is rewarding you yet. That's rare. Most people need feedback to continue. They need likes. They need praise. They need visible wins. When those disappear, so do they. Stubborn people operate differently. They don't ask, is this working yet? They ask, did I do what I said I would do today? That's discipline replacing weakness. It's not about inspiration. It's about repetition. You have a choice. You can keep restarting, or you can keep building. You can keep searching for shortcuts, or you can accept the long road. You can keep blaming circumstances, or you can outlast them. The long road is the advantage. That's what no one tells you. The long road filters people out. It removes competition. It clears the field. And if you stay long enough, you don't have to beat anyone. You just inherit the space they abandoned. That's how stubbornness wins. Talent shines early. Stubbornness wins late. And late is where everything matters. So stop asking whether you're good enough. That question weakens you. It puts your focus in the wrong place. Ask instead, can I stay longer than everyone else? Because if you can, skill will come. Confidence will come. Results will come. Time rewards the stubborn. You don't need to be special. You need to be unbreakable. Say it again, even if it feels uncomfortable. You don't need to be special. You need to be unbreakable. That's the foundation. That's the base layer. Without it, nothing else in this audiobook works. Every goal you care about will eventually demand stubbornness. It will test whether you mean what you say. It will pressure you to quit quietly. And when that moment comes, not if, when, remember this chapter. Talent doesn't win. Stubbornness does. History doesn't remember who impressed early. It remembers who refused to leave. You've made the first mental shift. You've stopped worshiping talent and started respecting endurance. Now it's time to confront the next trap that takes most people out of the game. You've learned why staying matters. Next, you'll learn what quitting actually costs you, and why most people underestimate the damage. Chapter 2. Quitters feel relief, winners feel pride. Quitting feels good. That's the part nobody likes to admit. Quitting feels like relief. Like exhaling after holding your breath too long. Like putting down a heavy weight and telling yourself you'll pick it up later. And that's exactly why quitting is dangerous. Because relief lies. Relief feels like safety, but it's actually surrender. Staying, on the other hand, feels heavy. Staying feels frustrating. Staying feels unfair. But staying pays. You have a choice. Temporary relief. Or permanent pride. That's the key. Most people don't quit because they fail. They quit because they want the discomfort to stop. They want the pressure off. They want peace. And quitting gives them that peace instantly. For a moment. Then something else shows up. Quietly, slowly, relentlessly. Regret. Regret doesn't hit immediately. It waits. It shows up months later, years later, when you see someone else living the life you almost had. When you realize you didn't run out of ability, you ran out of tolerance. Temporary pain or permanent regret. Choose wisely. Comfort is the most expensive drug in the world. And most people are addicted to it without realizing it. They confuse comfort with progress. If it feels good, they think it must be right. If it feels calm, they assume it's healthy. If it feels easy, they believe they're aligned. That's a lie. Growth is disruptive. Growth creates friction. Growth demands payment upfront. Comfort never asks you to grow. Comfort just asks you to stay the same. That's the key. Look at how people talk themselves out of staying. I'm tired. I deserve a break. This shouldn't be this hard. Maybe this isn't meant for me. Those aren't facts. Those are feelings. And feelings change daily. Discipline doesn't. It's not about exhaustion. It's about discipline. It's not about fairness. It's about discipline. It's not about motivation. It's about discipline. You don't need their permission to feel uncomfortable. You don't need validation to stay in pain. You don't need reassurance to keep going. You need to decide what kind of pain you're willing to live with. Because there is no pain-free path. There's the pain of staying. And there's the pain of quitting. One sharpens you. The other haunts you. That's the difference. Quitters optimize for short-term comfort. Winners optimize for long-term pride. Pride isn't loud. Pride is quiet. It shows up when you're alone and you know you didn't back down. When you know you kept your word to yourself. When you know you stayed when no one would have blamed you for leaving. That pride becomes identity. And identity becomes power. You have a choice. Most people live reactionary lives. They react to discomfort. They react to stress. They react to pressure. The moment something feels too heavy, they remove it. But strong people train themselves to sit inside discomfort without flinching. They don't ask, how do I make this stop? They ask, how do I endure this without breaking? That's the key. Here's what you must stop doing. Stop making decisions based on how you feel in the moment. Stop trusting relief as a signal of correctness. Stop confusing calm with progress. Relief is emotional. Progress is structural. Relief feels good now. Progress feels hard now and better later. You have to train yourself to delay emotional comfort in exchange for future pride. That's discipline replacing weakness. Here's what you must start doing. When things get uncomfortable, pause. Don't react. Don't escape. Sit still and name what's happening. This is pressure. This is resistance. This is the cost of growth. Not danger. Not failure. Not a sign to quit. Just cost. Every meaningful outcome charges a price. And the price is always paid in advance. Temporary pain or permanent regret. Choose wisely. The reason most people underestimate regret is because they've never felt it fully yet. They're still early. They still believe they can come back later. Restart later. Try again someday. Someday is a lie people tell themselves to make quitting feel safe. There is a window for momentum. There is a season where effort compounds faster. When you walk away from that, restarting costs 10 times more. That's the part nobody warns you about. Quitting doesn't reset you to zero. It sets you back below where you started. Confidence drops. Trust in yourself erodes. The next time you face resistance, quitting feels easier. That's the real damage. It's not about the lost opportunity. It's about the weakened identity. Every time you quit, you teach yourself that discomfort controls you. Every time you stay, you teach yourself that you are in control. That's the key. You don't need their permission to stay uncomfortable. You don't need approval to suffer quietly. You don't need applause to keep your standards. You need clarity. Clarity that relief is a trap. Clarity that comfort is expensive. Clarity that pride is earned only through endurance. And pride compounds. Once you've stayed through one hard season, the next one feels different. Not easier, but familiar. You don't panic. You don't dramatize. You don't spiral. You say, "I've been here before." That calm confidence? That's earned. And it only comes from staying. Temporary pain or permanent regret. Choose wisely. Say it again. Slower. Temporary pain or permanent regret. This is not about being extreme. This is about being honest. Life doesn't reward the most comfortable people. It rewards the most consistent ones. And consistency demands tolerance for discomfort. If you're listening to this right now, there is something you've considered walking away from. Something you've softened on. Something you've told yourself you'll revisit later. That's not accidental. This chapter is about that moment. You have a choice. Stay and feel the weight now. Or quit and feel the regret later. One builds pride. One builds excuses. And excuses never build anything worth having. Lock this lesson in. Relief is temporary. Pride is permanent. Comfort steals your future quietly. Discipline builds it slowly. You've learned to recognize the trap of relief. You've seen why quitting feels good and why it costs so much. Now it's time to understand why discomfort shows up in the first place and why it's not your enemy. You've faced the price of quitting. Now you'll learn how to reinterpret pain itself. Chapter 3. Pain is not a signal to stop. Pain is not danger. Pain is not failure. Pain is not a warning sign telling you to turn around. Pain is information. That's the key. Most people misunderstand pain because no one taught them how to interpret it. They were trained to avoid it, soften it, escape it. So the moment pain appears, they assume something is wrong. Something isn't wrong. Something is working. Pain is proof that you are stretching beyond the old version of yourself. It shows up precisely at the edge of growth. And that edge is where most people turn back. You have a choice. You can treat pain as an enemy, or you can treat it as feedback. One path keeps you small. The other changes your life. Pain is the body and mind saying, "This is new." That's all. But most people panic at new. They dramatize it. They tell themselves stories. They start negotiating. Negotiation is where weakness begins. Let's be clear. There are two types of pain. One is injury. One is growth. One damages you. One develops you. The problem is most people never learn to tell the difference. So they avoid both. That's the key. Growth pain is predictable. It shows up when you do something consistently that you used to avoid. When you hold a standard longer than before. When you stay present instead of escaping. Growth pain says, "This is uncomfortable." Injury pain says, "This is unsafe." Learn the difference. Your future depends on it. Most people quit at discomfort, not danger. They call it self-care. They call it balance. They call it intuition. It's not intuition. It's avoidance. It's not about sensitivity. It's about discipline. You don't need their permission to feel pain. You don't need validation to stay uncomfortable. You don't need approval to struggle quietly. You need clarity. Here's the psychological trap. The mind tries to protect you from short-term discomfort even when long-term damage is guaranteed. That's how humans are wired. Immediate relief feels more important than future reward. So when pain shows up, the mind says, "Stop." Not because stopping is smart, but because stopping is easy. That's the key. Pain doesn't mean stop. Pain means you're early. Say it again. Pain means you're early. Growth means you stay. Early in the process. Early in the adaptation. Early in the identity shift. If you leave now, you leave before the payoff phase. Every meaningful transformation has a phase where effort increases but results don't. That gap is painful. And that gap filters people out. That's not accidental. That's the design. The gap is where discipline replaces emotion. So here's what you must stop doing. Stop asking pain to justify itself. Stop demanding comfort as a condition for consistency. Stop negotiating your standards when things get hard. Negotiation sounds harmless, but it's deadly. I'll go easier today. I'll skip just this once. I'll push later. Later becomes never. That's the key. Negotiation teaches your brain that discomfort controls you. Every time you negotiate, you weaken your authority over yourself. You tell your mind, if I complain enough, I get an exit. And your mind learns fast. Discipline is built by refusing to negotiate. Not by being aggressive. Not by being extreme. But by being firm. Firm with your schedule. Firm with your standards. Firm with your commitments. When pain shows up, you acknowledge it, and you continue. I feel this. And I stay. That sentence changes everything. You have a choice. React emotionally, or respond intentionally. Reacting makes you a victim of sensation. Responding makes you the operator. That's discipline. Here's what you must start doing. When pain appears, pause. Name it. Then zoom out. Ask one question. Is this dangerous or is this uncomfortable? If it's dangerous, you adjust. If it's uncomfortable, you proceed. Simple. Effective. Most people never ask that question. They assume discomfort equals threat. And that assumption keeps them average. It's not about toughness. It's about accuracy. You don't need to be fearless. You need to be precise. Pain means you're early. Growth means you stay. The people who succeed are not immune to pain. They just interpret it correctly. They don't personalize it. They don't dramatize it. They don't make it mean something about their worth. They say, this is part of the process. That's the key. Pain also exposes your habits. When things hurt, you see what you default to. Distraction, complaining, escaping, blaming. Those patterns don't disappear on their own. They must be replaced. Discipline replaces weakness when you practice staying present under pressure. Not numbing, not avoiding, not reacting. Staying. And staying builds tolerance. Tolerance builds confidence. Confidence builds momentum. That's the chain. Pain doesn't break you. Avoidance does. Avoidance teaches your nervous system that discomfort is dangerous. So next time, the pain feels worse. The fear feels bigger. The resistance grows. Staying does the opposite. Staying teaches your system that discomfort is survivable. So the next time, it's less dramatic, less intense, more manageable. That's how growth accelerates. You don't need their permission to struggle. You don't need applause to endure. You don't need encouragement to continue. You need commitment. Commitment means you've already decided what pain you're willing to carry. Because pain is coming either way. There's the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. One strengthens you. One weakens you. Temporary pain or permanent regret. Choose wisely. Pain means you're early. Growth means you stay. Say it again. Let it land. Pain means you're early. Growth means you stay. This chapter is about rewiring your response. Not becoming numb. Becoming deliberate. Pain is no longer a stop sign. It's a checkpoint. And when you pass enough checkpoints, something shifts. What used to feel unbearable becomes normal. What used to feel impossible becomes routine. That's when people start calling you strong. But strength was built quietly, one decision at a time, when you chose not to leave. Lock this in. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your teacher. It shows you where growth is required, and whether you're willing to pay the price. You've learned how to interpret pain correctly. You've stopped treating discomfort as danger. Now it's time to confront the next illusion, the belief that someone else will step in and make this easier. You've learned to stay with pain. Now you must learn to stand alone. Chapter 4. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is coming. Not to motivate you. Not to remind you. Not to rescue you from hesitation, fear, or doubt. That's the truth most people spend their entire lives avoiding. They wait. They hope. They delay. They believe something will arrive, clarity, confidence, support, permission, and then they'll move. That moment never comes. That's the key. History is not built by people who waited to feel ready. It's built by people who moved while unsure, unsupported, and unseen. You have a choice. You can keep waiting for something external to change, or you can accept responsibility and move yourself. If you don't move yourself, you will stay exactly where you are. Say it again. If you don't move yourself, you will stay exactly where you are. Most people don't like that sentence because it removes excuses. It removes fantasy. It removes the comforting idea that someone else will step in and make things easier. But ease was never promised. Progress was always earned. Waiting is the most socially accepted form of quitting. It looks responsible. It sounds mature. It feels safe. I'm just waiting for the right time. I need more information. I need support. I need motivation. Those are not plans. Those are delays. That's the key. Motivation is not a requirement for action. Action is the requirement for motivation. The order matters. People who wait to feel motivated stay stuck. People who move without motivation create it. You don't need their permission to start. You don't need approval to take responsibility. You don't need support to take the next step. You need self-reliance. Self-reliance is speed. Dependence is delay. Every time you wait for someone else, a mentor, a partner, an audience, a signal, you slow yourself down. You put your future in someone else's hands. And no one protects your future like you do. That's the key. Let's be clear. This isn't about isolation from humanity. This is about ownership. Ownership of decisions. Ownership of effort. Ownership of outcomes. Most people outsource responsibility. They blame circumstances. They blame timing. They blame lack of support. And blaming feels good. It feels relieving. It feels justified. But blame freezes you. Discipline moves you. It's not about support. It's about discipline. It's not about confidence. It's about discipline. It's not about clarity. It's about discipline. Clarity comes from movement, not thought. Most people try to think their way forward. They analyze. They research. They prepare endlessly. Preparation becomes procrastination when action never follows. That's the trap. Self-reliant people move first and adjust later. They don't need perfect conditions. They need momentum. Momentum creates clarity. Momentum creates confidence. Momentum creates evidence. Waiting creates nothing. You have a choice. You can wait until you feel supported, or you can become your own support. Becoming your own support is uncomfortable at first. There's no applause, no reassurance, no safety net. But there is freedom. Freedom from excuses. Freedom from dependency. Freedom from delay. That's the key. Here's what you must stop doing. Stop waiting for permission. Stop asking for validation. Stop assuming someone else knows better than you what you should do with your life. Advice is optional. Responsibility is not. Every time you ask someone else to decide for you, you weaken your decision-making muscle. And that muscle atrophies fast. Self-reliance is built by making decisions and standing by them. Not because they're perfect, but because they're yours. You don't need their permission to take responsibility. You don't need approval to commit. You don't need consensus to move forward. Here's what you must start doing. Decide first. Move second. Adjust third. That order changes everything. Decide what matters. Move toward it daily. Adjust based on reality, not fear. Most people reverse that order. They adjust before they move. They seek feedback before they act. They wait for signals that never come. Self-reliant people create signals by acting. That's the key. Understand this psychologically. Humans look for external anchors when they don't trust themselves. The need for saving is actually a lack of self-trust. And self-trust is built through follow-through. Every time you say you'll do something and you do it, trust increases. Every time you hesitate, delay, or wait, trust erodes. That's not emotional. That's neurological. Your brain learns whether you are reliable or not. So if you want to feel more confident, stop waiting and start proving to yourself that you move when you say you will. It's not about belief. It's about discipline. Self-reliance doesn't mean you never need help. It means help is a bonus, not a requirement. If support comes, you use it. If it doesn't, you proceed anyway. That mindset changes your posture. You stop begging life to cooperate and start forcing progress through consistency. History is built in isolation because the early stages are always lonely. There's no crowd at the beginning. No cheer. No recognition. That's why most people quit early or never start. They mistake loneliness for a signal to stop. It's not. Loneliness is a signal that you're early. That's the key. Every meaningful path begins in silence. The noise comes later, after the work compounds. So stop waiting to be seen. Start becoming undeniable. If you don't move yourself, you will stay exactly where you are. Let that sentence hit again. If you don't move yourself, you will stay exactly where you are. No one is coming to push you. No one is coming to carry you. No one is coming to make this easier. And that's not bad news. That's freedom. Because it means your future is not blocked by anyone else's actions. It's unlocked by yours. You have a choice. Stay dependent and delayed, or become self-directed and dangerous. Dangerous to excuses. Dangerous to stagnation. Dangerous to the version of you that keeps waiting. Lock this lesson in. Self-reliance is not optional. It's foundational. Without it, discipline collapses. Without it, consistency breaks. Without it, stubbornness fades. You've learned to stay when it hurts. You've learned to stop waiting for rescue. Now it's time to eliminate the final illusion that keeps people weak, the belief that motivation is required to move. You've accepted responsibility. Next, you'll learn how to act without feeling ready. Chapter 5. Stubborn people don't need motivation. Motivation is emotional. Stubbornness is structural. That's the difference that separates people who start from people who finish. Motivation comes and goes. It rises with excitement and disappears with resistance. It depends on mood, environment, energy, and feedback. Stubbornness doesn't care about any of that. Stubbornness stays. That's the key. Most people are waiting to feel like doing the work. They wait for inspiration. They wait for excitement. They wait for the right mindset. And while they wait, life moves on without them. You have a choice. You can live at the mercy of your emotions, or you can build an identity that acts regardless of emotion. Stubborn people don't wake up asking, "Do I feel like it?" They wake up asking, "What must be done?" And then they do it. I don't feel like it, and I do it anyway. Say it again. I don't feel like it, and I do it anyway. That sentence is a weapon. Motivation-based people quit when motivation disappears. Discipline-based people continue because quitting was never part of the agreement. It's not about enthusiasm. It's about standards. That's the key. Let's break this down psychologically. Motivation is a response to perceived reward. Your brain asks, what do I get if I do this? If the reward feels close and exciting, motivation appears. If the reward feels distant or uncertain, motivation vanishes. Discipline works differently. Discipline doesn't ask about reward. Discipline asks about identity. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is non-negotiable. Identity-driven behavior is stable. Emotion-driven behavior is fragile. That's why relying on motivation is dangerous. It trains you to act only when conditions feel right. And conditions are rarely right. You don't need their permission to act without motivation. You don't need approval to move while uninspired. You don't need encouragement to do what you already decided matters. You need commitment. Commitment means the decision has already been made. Once the decision is made, feelings become irrelevant. That's discipline. Here's what you must stop doing. Stop checking your emotional state before acting. Stop asking yourself how you feel about the task. Stop letting mood dictate movement. Mood is unreliable. If you only act when you feel good, you will live a very small life. That's the key. Every day you wake up, your brain will offer you reasons not to act. You're tired. You can do it later. You've earned a break. Tomorrow will be better. Those thoughts are automatic. They don't mean anything. They are not instructions. They are noise. Stubborn people don't argue with the noise. They don't negotiate. They don't try to silence it. They move anyway. I don't feel like it, and I do it anyway. That's not aggression. That's maturity. Here's what you must start doing. Decide your non-negotiables in advance. Decide what you do on bad days. Decide what you do when you're tired. Decide what you do when motivation is gone. If you don't decide ahead of time, emotion will decide for you in the moment. And emotion always chooses comfort. That's the key. Discipline is simply pre-made decisions executed daily. You don't wake up and decide whether to brush your teeth. You don't debate it. You don't wait to feel inspired. You do it because it's who you are. Your goals require the same treatment. When you turn action into identity, resistance loses power. It's not about willpower. It's about structure. Structure removes choice. And when choice is removed, excuses disappear. You have a choice. You can design your life so action is automatic. Or you can keep negotiating with yourself every day and losing. Negotiation is exhausting. Discipline is efficient. That's the key. Motivation-based people burn energy deciding. Discipline-based people conserve energy executing. And execution compounds. Here's another truth most people don't want to hear. Motivation is not the cause of action. Action is the cause of motivation. When you move, motivation follows. When you wait, motivation dies. So if you're waiting to feel motivated, you're waiting in the wrong direction. Move first. Feeling comes later. You don't need their permission to act while unmotivated. You don't need reassurance to stay consistent. You don't need inspiration to keep your standards. You need stubbornness. Stubbornness says, this gets done whether I enjoy it or not. That mindset changes everything. Because once you accept that you won't always feel like it, you stop being surprised by resistance. You stop being offended by discomfort. You stop taking your emotions personally. You expect resistance. And what you expect, you handle calmly. That's discipline replacing weakness. Weakness looks like waiting. Strength looks like starting. Not starting perfectly. Not starting confidently. Just starting. I don't feel like it, and I do it anyway. Say it again. Slower. I don't feel like it, and I do it anyway. This is how stubborn people are built. Not through hype. Not through speeches. Through repetition. Boring repetition. Uncelebrated repetition. The kind that builds results quietly while everyone else is waiting to feel ready. Motivation is loud. Discipline is quiet. Motivation wants attention. Discipline wants results. And results create confidence that motivation never can. Because confidence built on discipline is real. It doesn't disappear when conditions change. That's the key. If you want to change your life, stop asking how to feel better and start asking how to act better. Feelings will catch up. They always do. But only after movement. Lock this lesson in. Motivation is optional. Discipline is required. Emotion is temporary. Identity is permanent. You've learned to act without waiting to feel ready. You've learned to move without motivation. Now it's time to focus on the real force that compounds everything you do, the habit of showing up again and again. You've removed emotion from the equation. Next, you'll learn how repetition turns effort into inevitability. Chapter 6. Consistency is the real superpower. Consistency doesn't look impressive. It looks boring. It looks repetitive. It looks ordinary. And that's why it works. Small actions, repeated daily, crush massive actions done occasionally. Every time. No exceptions. That's the key. Most people chase intensity. They want big days, breakthrough moments, sudden leaps. They wait for the surge of energy that makes everything feel possible. Consistency doesn't wait. Consistency shows up quietly. On average days. On tired days. On days when nothing seems to move. And it keeps going. You have a choice. You can keep trying to be impressive. Or you can become inevitable. Inevitable beats impressive every time. Consistency is not about how hard you push once. It's about how long you stay. It's about reducing friction so showing up becomes normal, automatic, expected. That's discipline. It's not about effort. It's about repetition. That's the key. Let's talk psychology. Your brain adapts to what you do repeatedly, not what you do occasionally. Occasional effort excites the ego. Repeated effort rewires behavior. When something becomes routine, it stops costing willpower. It stops requiring debate. It stops draining energy. That's when progress accelerates. Most people never reach that stage because they keep resetting the process. They go hard, burn out, disappear, then start again from zero. Consistency prevents restarts. Restarts are expensive. Every restart costs confidence. Every restart reinforces doubt. Every restart teaches your brain that quitting is part of the cycle. Consistency teaches the opposite. Consistency teaches reliability. Consistency teaches trust. Consistency teaches identity. You don't need their permission to be boring. You don't need approval to repeat the basics. You don't need validation to keep showing up. You need a loop. Show up. Do the work. Repeat. That's it. Say it again. Show up. Do the work. Repeat. That's it. This loop is simple. And simplicity is powerful. Complex plans collapse under pressure. Simple routines survive. That's the key. Here's what you must stop doing. Stop overestimating what one big effort will change. Stop underestimating what small daily actions will build. Stop quitting just because progress is slow. Slow progress is still progress. Quitting resets you to zero. It's not about speed. It's about discipline. It's not about intensity. It's about discipline. It's not about talent. It's about discipline. Consistency doesn't require confidence. It builds it. Most people wait to feel confident before being consistent. That's backwards. Confidence is the reward for consistency, not the prerequisite. You have a choice. Wait to feel ready, or act until ready becomes irrelevant. Consistency removes emotion from the equation. It turns action into habit, habit into identity, and identity is unstoppable. Here's what you must start doing. Lower the bar for showing up. Raise the bar for quitting. Stop asking, how much can I do today? Start asking, what's the minimum I will do no matter what? Minimums create momentum. When the minimum becomes automatic, you exceed it naturally. But if you aim too high and miss, you train inconsistency. Consistency beats ambition when ambition isn't backed by structure. That's the key. Boring routines produce extraordinary outcomes because they eliminate drama. No decision fatigue. No emotional negotiation. No waiting for conditions to improve. You just do the thing. Again and again and again. This is how skills compound. This is how strength builds. This is how results sneak up on you while others are still planning. People quit because they're bored. Because the novelty wears off. Because the excitement fades. Consistency doesn't care about novelty. Consistency cares about completion. You don't need their permission to repeat the basics. You don't need applause to stay consistent. You don't need recognition to keep the loop going. You need patience. Patience is discipline stretched over time. And time is the multiplier everyone ignores. You have a choice. Chase excitement or build momentum. Momentum doesn't announce itself. It's invisible until it's undeniable. That's the key. Here's a hard truth. Most people don't fail because they can't do the work. They fail because they can't tolerate the boredom of doing the same thing repeatedly without immediate reward. That boredom is the gatekeeper. Pass it, and the field clears. Consistency also removes fear. When something becomes routine, it stops being threatening. The unknown becomes known. The heavy becomes manageable. That's how consistency replaces anxiety with calm control. Not through reassurance, through repetition. If you want to feel less overwhelmed, simplify your actions and repeat them. Complexity creates stress. Simplicity creates stability. Show up, do the work, repeat. That's it. This isn't about perfection. Missing a day doesn't break consistency. Quitting the pattern does. Get back on track immediately. No guilt. No drama. No stories. Discipline is not emotional. It's procedural. That's the key. Consistency also creates credibility. With yourself first. With others later. When you know you show up daily, your self-talk changes. Doubt loses volume. Excuses lose power. You stop asking, "Can I do this?" You start asking, "What's next?" That shift is massive. And it only comes from repetition. You don't need their permission to build quietly. You don't need approval to move slowly. You don't need validation to trust the process. You need to protect the loop. Protect it from overthinking. Protect it from comparison. Protect it from emotional sabotage. Because once the loop is strong, everything else becomes easier. Consistency is the real superpower because it compounds without asking for attention. It doesn't spike. It stacks. Day by day. Rep by rep. Decision by decision. Until one day people call you disciplined. They call you lucky. They call you consistent. They didn't see the boredom. They didn't feel the repetition. They didn't stay long enough to understand. But you did. Lock this lesson in. Intensity is optional. Consistency is essential. Emotion fades. Structure stays. You've learned how to build momentum through repetition. You've learned why boring wins. Now it's time to remove the next leak in your progress, the habit of talking too much and explaining yourself. You've mastered the loop. Next, you'll learn the power of restraint. Chapter 7. Stop explaining yourself. Most people talk too much. They explain their plans. They justify their delays. They defend their choices. And every explanation drains power. Here's the truth you don't want to hear. Explanation is weakness when it replaces results. That's the key. Strong people don't explain. They execute. Weak people narrate their lives because they have nothing to show yet. You have a choice. You can keep talking about what you're going to do. Or you can build something so undeniable that explanation becomes unnecessary. Results don't ask for permission. Results don't need context. Results don't care if you're misunderstood. They stand. They speak. They end conversations. You learned early to explain yourself. To parents. To teachers. To friends. To bosses. You were trained to justify everything. Why you're late. Why you failed. Why you need more time. Why this is hard. And now you think explanation equals maturity. It doesn't. It equals dependence. Because every explanation is a request for understanding. For approval. For validation. You don't need their permission. The moment you start explaining, you shift power away from yourself. You hand the microphone to people who are not building what you're building. That's the key. Psychologically, explanation feels safe. It feels like control. You think if people understand your reasons, they won't judge you. But that's a lie. People don't judge based on reasons. They judge based on outcomes. Always have. Always will. You can explain your diet. Or you can change your body. You can explain your business idea. Or you can show revenue. You can explain your discipline. Or you can show consistency. It's not about communication. It's about discipline. Every time you explain too much, one of three things is happening. What? You're trying to relieve guilt. You didn't do the work. So you talk. You didn't show up. So you explain why. That explanation feels like progress. It's not. It's emotional relief disguised as responsibility. Stop doing that. You're seeking reassurance. You want someone to say, "It's okay. You're doing fine. Take your time." That comfort keeps you average. That's the key. 3. You're procrastinating in public. Talking about the plan instead of executing the plan. That's not strategy. That's avoidance. You have a choice. Silence is not weakness. Silence is pressure. When you stop explaining, something uncomfortable happens. People don't know where you stand. They can't predict you. They can't interfere. And that discomfort pushes you to perform. Because now the only way to speak is with results. That's the key. Look at high performers closely. They don't overshare. They don't announce every move. They don't defend every decision. They let time work for them. They understand a simple truth. Words depreciate. Results compound. You don't need their permission. Here's what explaining actually does. It locks you into old versions of yourself. You explain based on who you are now, not who you're becoming. And the moment you say it out loud, people remember. They hold you there. Silence gives you room to change. Silence gives you space to grow without spectators. That's the key. You don't owe anyone a preview of your future. You owe yourself execution. Stop explaining your goals. Start explaining your results, if you even need to. Most of the time, you won't. Let's get practical. Here's what you must stop doing. Stop announcing plans early. Stop justifying slow progress. Stop defending your discipline to undisciplined people. Stop explaining your boundaries. No is a complete sentence. That's the key. Here's what you must start doing. Start tracking your work privately. Start measuring outcomes, not opinions. Start letting awkward silence replace long explanations. Start using proof as your language. Build quietly. Let success make the noise. Repeat that. Build quietly. Let success make the noise. Silence is a discipline. It requires restraint. Your ego wants to speak. Your insecurity wants to explain. Your fear wants reassurance. Discipline says nothing. Discipline works. It's not about confidence. It's about discipline. There's a hidden benefit to silence. It filters your circle. When you stop explaining, some people disappear. They were there for the conversation, not the construction. The ones who stay, they respect results. They respect effort. They respect consistency. That's the key. You'll feel misunderstood at first. That's normal. Most people confuse silence with weakness because they rely on noise. Let them. You are not here to be understood. You are here to be effective. You have a choice. Every explanation is energy. Energy that could be used to work, to train, to build, to repeat the process. Show up, do the work, repeat. No explanation required. Here's a rule to live by. If you have time to explain, you have time to improve. If you feel the urge to defend yourself, redirect that energy into action. That's the key. Silence sharpens focus. When you stop talking, you hear yourself more clearly. You notice excuses faster. You feel resistance sooner. You act cleaner. Noise hides weakness. Silence exposes it. And once exposed, you can fix it. You don't need applause during construction. You need tolerance for loneliness. Because building quietly means walking alone for a while. That's not punishment. That's preparation. History is built in silence. Results are revealed later. Say less. Do more. Let your calendar speak. Let your body speak. Let your bank account speak. Let your output speak. Everything else is background noise. Remember this. The louder the explanation, the weaker the position. The quieter the work, the stronger the outcome. That's the key. You don't need to convince anyone. You don't need to clarify your vision. You don't need to defend your pace. You need to execute. You need to repeat. You need discipline. Build quietly. Let success make the noise. Say it again. Build quietly. Let success make the noise. This chapter isn't about being secretive. It's about being serious. Serious people don't talk. They move. And when they arrive, nobody asks questions. Lock this in. Silence is not absence. It's pressure before proof. Use it. You've learned to stop explaining yourself. Now it's time to control what enters your mind. Chapter 8. Stubborn focus beats scattered intelligence. Intelligence is overrated. Let that land. Smart people quit more than stubborn people. Smart people overthink more than they execute. Smart people collect options instead of results. That's the truth. You don't lose because you're not intelligent enough. You lose because your focus is scattered. That's the key. Look around. The world is full of clever people who never finish anything. They start fast. They analyze deeply. They talk beautifully. And then they stop. Because intelligence looks for escape routes. Focus removes them. You have a choice. Smart people ask, what's the best option? Stubborn people ask, what's the work today? One question delays action. The other creates momentum. It's not about intelligence. It's about discipline. Psychologically, intelligence loves complexity. It wants more data, more perspectives, more reassurance. Focus wants simplicity. One goal, one direction, one standard. No exits, That's the key. Scattered intelligence creates mental noise. Too many ideas. Too many possibilities. Too many comparisons. Your mind stays busy. Your life stays the same. You mistake mental activity for progress. That's a trap. Stubborn focus is boring. It repeats the same actions. At the same time. In the same order. Day after day. And that boredom builds power. Because repetition removes doubt. Smart people keep changing strategies. New system. New routine. New inspiration. Stubborn people stay put long enough to see results. They understand something critical. Consistency beats creativity when creativity isn't disciplined. That's the key. Here's what scattered intelligence sounds like. Maybe I should try something else. Let me research more. There might be a better way. I'll decide tomorrow. Those sentences feel reasonable. They're deadly because they delay commitment. And without commitment, nothing compounds. Focus is not talent. Focus is subtraction. You eliminate distractions. You eliminate options. You eliminate escape routes. Until only execution remains. You don't need their permission. Every distraction is a decision you didn't make. You let something pull you away because you didn't lock yourself in. That's the key. Let's be direct. If you keep switching paths, you are choosing comfort over growth. If you keep leaving doors open, you are protecting your ego. Because as long as there's another option, failure feels temporary. Stubborn focus removes that safety net and forces adaptation. Smart people hate constraints. Stubborn people thrive under them. Constraints create clarity. When there's only one path, energy stops leaking. Here's what you must stop doing. Stop multitasking. Stop chasing new strategies mid-process. Stop consuming information you're not applying. Stop keeping backup plans for your main goal. That's the key. Backup plans weaken primary plans. Here's what you must start doing. Choose one objective that actually matters. Define one standard for execution. Create one daily routine that supports it. Remove everything else. One path. One standard. No exits. Say it again. One path. One standard. No exits. Focus is a form of self-respect. It says, this matters enough to exclude everything else. Scattered intelligence says, I don't trust myself to commit. That's the real issue. You don't fail because the goal was wrong. You fail because you kept renegotiating the commitment. Every time you reconsider, momentum resets. That's the key. Stubborn people don't wait for clarity. They move until clarity is forced to appear. Action creates feedback. Feedback creates adjustment. Adjustment creates progress. Thinking alone creates nothing. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a locked door behind you. No retreat. No just in case. Focus hurts at first because it exposes weakness. You can't hide behind options anymore. You can't distract yourself with novelty. All that's left is the work and your resistance to it. That's where growth lives. Smart people protect their identity. Stubborn people sacrifice it. They're willing to look slow, wrong, obsessive, because they know results will rewrite the story later. You don't need their permission. Here's a discipline rule. If it doesn't directly move your main objective forward today, it's noise. Cut it. Social media. Extra projects. Endless learning. Noise. That's the key. Focus is not intensity. It's direction held over time. Anyone can sprint. Few can walk straight for years. Stubborn people can. You don't need to be smarter. You need to be harder to distract. It's not about intelligence. It's about discipline. When focus becomes identity, excuses disappear. You stop asking how to feel motivated. You stop asking if it's worth it. You stop asking what others think. You execute. Here's the mindset shift. You are no longer exploring. You are building. Exploration is wide. Building is narrow. Choose which phase you're in. Most people confuse the two and stay stuck forever. You have a choice. Lock this in. Focus is a weapon, but only when you refuse to put it down. One path. One standard. No exits. The moment you eliminate alternatives, effort increases automatically. Because now failure costs something. And pressure creates performance. That's the key. This chapter is not asking you to be less intelligent. It's asking you to be less scattered. Intelligence without focus is wasted potential. Focus without intelligence still wins. Every time. You've learned to eliminate distractions. You've learned to close escape routes. Now it's time to confront the habit that destroys focus faster than anything else. You've sharpened your direction. Now you must control your time. Chapter 9. The lonely phase is a test. Nobody warns you about this part. They talk about success. They talk about habits. They talk about discipline. But they don't talk about the silence. They don't talk about the empty room. The unanswered messages. The feeling that you're walking alone while everyone else is laughing together. This is the lonely phase. And it's not a problem. It's a test. That's the key. Every real breakthrough has a lonely chapter. Every one. Before momentum shows up. Before validation arrives. Before results make sense to anyone else. There is isolation. And most people fail here. Not because they're incapable, but because they misunderstand what loneliness means. You have a choice. Loneliness is not rejection. Loneliness is separation. It means your priorities no longer match the crowd. It means your standards have changed. Your schedule has changed. Your tolerance for distraction has changed. And when that happens, distance is inevitable. That's the key. Psychologically, humans are wired to belong. Belonging feels safe, familiar, comforting. Growth threatens that, because growth requires divergence. You can't build a different life while thinking like everyone else. So the mind panics. It whispers lies. Something is wrong. You're missing out. You're doing this alone. Go back. Those thoughts are not signals. They are resistance. Here's the truth. If it feels lonely, you're ahead. Say it again. If it feels lonely, you're ahead. Ahead of the old version of you. Ahead of your past habits. Ahead of the life you outgrew. That's the key. Most people quit during the lonely phase. They don't quit loudly. They drift back quietly. They rejoin old routines. Old conversations. Old distractions. Because loneliness feels uncomfortable. And comfort feels like progress. But it's not. It's retreat. You must understand this. Isolation sharpens identity. When no one is watching, you discover who you really are. No applause. No feedback. No external motivation. Just you and the work. And that's where discipline is forged. It's not about motivation. It's about discipline. In the lonely phase, excuses get louder. Because accountability is gone. No one is checking. No one is clapping. No one is correcting. That's the test. Will you still show up? You have a choice. Most people rely on social energy to function. They need encouragement. They need agreement. They need reassurance. Stubborn people don't. They rely on standards. Standards don't leave. Standards don't get tired. Standards don't change their mind. That's the key. Here's what you must stop doing. Stop interpreting loneliness as failure. Stop reaching back for comfort conversations. Stop explaining your path to people who aren't walking it. Stop waiting for someone to join you before you continue. You don't need their permission. Here's what you must start doing. Use the silence. Use the space. Use the absence of noise to build clarity. Decide who you are without witnesses. Because when results arrive, crowds will follow. But identity must come first. Loneliness removes performance. There's no one to impress. And that's powerful. Because now the work becomes honest. You train when it's boring. You study when it's quiet. You execute without storytelling. That's discipline. The lonely phase exposes weakness. You'll notice urges. To scroll. To distract. To seek validation. To announce your plans early. Resist the silence protects momentum. That's the key. Stubborn people understand this rule. The fewer people who know what you're building, the safer it is. Attention invites opinions. Opinions invite doubt. Doubt invites delay. Build quietly. You don't need their permission. Loneliness also reveals commitment gaps. You'll discover which goals were real, and which were fantasies fueled by excitement. Because when excitement fades, only commitment remains. And commitment doesn't need company. This phase will ask you questions. Who are you without applause? Who are you without encouragement? Who are you when progress is invisible? Answer those questions with action, not emotion. Let's be clear. Loneliness is not permanent, but quitting makes regret permanent. Temporary isolation or permanent mediocrity. You have a choice. Many people sabotage themselves here. They self-diagnose. I'm burned out. I've lost motivation. I need balance. You're just early. Pain doesn't mean stop. Silence doesn't mean wrong. Loneliness doesn't mean lost. It means you're ahead. That's the key. Here's a practical discipline. During lonely phases, tighten your routine. Same wake-up time. Same work block. Same training window. Structure replaces social motivation. It's not about feelings. It's about discipline. Another rule. Don't fill loneliness with noise. No constant podcasts. No endless scrolling. No background distractions. Let your mind settle. Clarity comes from stillness. The lonely phase creates self-trust. Every day you keep promises without witnesses, confidence grows. Not loud confidence. Quiet confidence. The kind that doesn't need to be announced. Remember this. History is built in rooms no one sees. In mornings no one claps for. In repetitions no one counts. In silence no one understands. That's where the edge is created. If it feels lonely, you're ahead. Ahead of the excuses. Ahead of the crowd. Ahead of the version of you that needed approval. Say it again. If it feels lonely, you're ahead. Don't rush through this phase. Respect it. It's shaping you. It's stripping weakness. It's building resolve. It's teaching you to stand alone. And that skill will carry you further than talent ever could. You don't need to be understood. You need to be consistent. That's the key. The lonely phase ends when results speak. And when they do, people will ask where you came from. They won't see this chapter, but you will remember it. And you'll be grateful you didn't quit. You've learned to stand alone. You've learned to move without applause. Now it's time to master the resource everyone wastes while waiting for company. You've passed the test of isolation. Now protect what matters most. Chapter 10. Pressure is privilege. Most people say they want more. More success. More money. More impact. More responsibility. But the moment pressure shows up, they panic. They complain. They escape. They numb themselves. That contradiction is the reason most people stay small. Pressure is not punishment. Pressure is proof. That's the key. Pressure means expectations. Expectations mean someone believes you can carry weight. No pressure means no one expects anything from you. No pressure means you are irrelevant. Read that again. No pressure means you don't matter. You have a choice. Weak people avoid pressure. Strong people use it. That's the dividing line. Psychologically, pressure activates fear. Fear of failure. Fear of judgment. Fear of exposure. The brain interprets pressure as danger. So it looks for exits. Comfort. Distraction. Excuses. That's not intelligence. That's avoidance. It's not about stress. It's about discipline. Pressure doesn't break you. Lack of structure does. When pressure arrives and you fall apart, it's not because pressure is too heavy. It's because your habits are too weak. That's the key. Look at every meaningful position on earth. Leadership, elite performance, ownership, responsibility. All of it comes with pressure. No exceptions. So when you say you want more but resent pressure, you're lying to yourself. You want rewards without weight. That doesn't exist. Pressure is the price of entry. Pay it or stay out. You have a choice. Most people mislabel pressure as stress. Stress feels random. Pressure is specific. Pressure is a demand to perform, to decide, to execute, to hold standards when it would be easier to collapse. That's why it's valuable. Pressure exposes cracks. Not to shame you, to show you what needs strengthening. If pressure reveals chaos, the answer is not escape. The answer is order. Here's what you must stop doing. Stop asking, why is this happening to me? Stop treating pressure like an enemy. Stop running when expectations rise. Stop romanticizing a stress-free life. There is no growth without pressure. Here's what you must start doing. Build systems that can carry weight. Morning routines. Clear priorities. Non-negotiable habits. Structure turns pressure into fuel. That's the key. Pressure sharpens focus. When stakes are high, nonsense disappears. You stop scrolling. You stop overthinking. You stop negotiating. You act. That's why some people only perform under pressure. Because pressure forces clarity. The problem is not pressure. The problem is waiting until pressure arrives to get disciplined. Discipline must come first. Pressure just reveals it. Repeat this. Weak people escape pressure. Strong people use it. Say it again. Weak people escape pressure. Strong people use it. Pressure is a privilege because it means you're in the arena. No pressure means you're watching from the stands. Commenting, criticizing, judging, irrelevant. You don't need their permission. Pressure is also a test of identity. Do you see yourself as capable or fragile? Capable people rise to pressure. Fragile people crumble under it. Identity determines response. Here's a practical shift. When pressure hits, don't ask how to remove it. Ask how to rise to it. What standard must increase? What habit must tighten? What distraction must be eliminated? Pressure demands upgrades. Pressure doesn't ask politely. It shows up unannounced. Deadlines, expectations, consequences. That's why preparation matters. Discipline is preparation for pressure. Most people train when they feel good. That's backwards. You train so you can perform when you don't. That's the key. Pressure also reveals who you trust. Under pressure, you stop listening to everyone. You listen to principles. You rely on routines. You execute basics. That's how professionals operate. If pressure overwhelms you, simplify. One task, one priority, one action. Pressure hates clarity. Clarity neutralizes pressure. Let's be honest. You've been asking for pressure. You just didn't call it that. You asked for growth. You asked for progress. You asked for results. This is the cost. Pay it. Pressure builds pride, not ego. The quiet kind. The kind that comes from knowing you didn't fold. You didn't run. You didn't outsource responsibility. You carried the weight. Pressure trains leadership. Leaders don't wait for perfect conditions. They move with incomplete information. They decide with risk. They stand firm when outcomes are uncertain. That's pressure. If you want an easy life, lower your standards. If you want a meaningful life, raise your capacity. Capacity is built under pressure. Here's another truth. Pressure is temporary. Regret is permanent. Escaping pressure feels good now. Living with the consequences doesn't. You have a choice. Most people numb pressure. Food, entertainment, distraction. That's weakness. Strong people convert pressure into action. Movement relieves pressure. Execution dissolves anxiety. When pressure arrives, do this. Slow down your breathing. Speed up your execution. Stick to fundamentals. No drama. Just discipline. Pressure is the signal that you're playing at the right level. If everything feels easy, you're playing too small. That's the key. Say this to yourself. This pressure is earned. This pressure means I'm trusted. This pressure means I'm growing. Reframe it. Use it. Pressure will visit you again. At higher levels. With bigger stakes. If you learn to carry it now, future versions of you will thank you. You don't rise to pressure. You fall to your habits. So build habits worthy of pressure. You've learned to stand alone. You've learned to protect your time. Now you've learned to carry weight. Pressure is not the enemy. Pressure is proof you're becoming someone worth testing. Lock that in. Because what comes next will determine whether pressure makes you powerful or reckless. You've learned to carry the weight. Now learn when to speak and when not to. Chapter 11. You become what you refuse to quit. Most people think identity is something you discover. It's not. Identity is something you build. And you don't build it with words. You build it with what you refuse to walk away from. That's the key. Every time life gets hard, a question is asked. Not out loud. Internally. Am I the kind of person who stays, or the kind of person who quits? You answer that question with action. Not once. Every day. You have a choice. Identity is not formed during motivation. Motivation lies. It shows up loud and disappears quietly. Identity is formed during resistance. When it's boring. When it's painful. When quitting would feel like relief. That's where identity is written. Most people think quitting is neutral. It's just one day. It's just one habit. It's just one exception. But every quit is a vote. A vote for the kind of person you are becoming. That's the key. Psychologically, the brain tracks patterns, not intentions. It doesn't care what you promise yourself. It cares what you repeat. If you repeat quitting, your identity becomes fragile. If you repeat staying, your identity becomes solid. It's not about talent. It's about discipline. Read this carefully. You don't rise to your goals. You sink to your identity. And identity is built by refusal. Refusal to quit. Refusal to escape. Refusal to negotiate when things get uncomfortable. Every time you stay, something changes. Not outside, inside. Your self-respect grows. Quietly. And once self-respect grows, discipline becomes easier. Because now quitting costs you something. Most people quit to protect comfort. Stubborn people stay to protect identity. That's the difference. You don't need their permission to stay. No one needs to understand your discipline. No one needs to approve your standards. Staying is a private decision. And a public result. Here's the lie people believe. I'll stay once it feels worth it. Wrong. It feels worth it because you stayed. That's the key. Every breakthrough you admire was built on unseen staying. Staying when no one noticed. Staying when progress was invisible. Staying when doubt was loud. No highlight reel shows that. But that's where identity is forged. Let's talk about weakness. Weakness is not failure. Weakness is quitting early to avoid discomfort. Failure teaches. Quitting erases lessons. It's not about mistakes. It's about discipline. Here's what you must stop doing. Stop treating quitting as self-care. Stop calling avoidance listening to your body when it's really fear. Stop building identities based on how you feel. Feelings change. Standards don't. Here's what you must start doing. Decide who you are when it's hard. Write it down. I am someone who stays. I finish what I start. I don't negotiate with discomfort. Then prove it daily. Identity is reinforced by evidence. Every time you stay, your brain updates the file. This is who we are. And once that belief is installed, behavior follows automatically. That's the key. Most people wait for confidence to stay. Backward. Staying creates confidence. Confidence is a side effect of kept promises, especially the ones no one sees. You will be tempted to quit. That will never stop. At higher levels, quitting just gets more sophisticated. Better excuses. More logical justifications. That's why identity matters. When you know who you are, decisions become simple. Not easy. Simple. I stay. That's it. Repeat this. I stay. That's who I am. Say it again. I stay. That's who I am. Not because it sounds good. Because you back it with action. Staying doesn't mean blind persistence. It means disciplined persistence. You adjust strategy. You don't abandon standards. That's the key. There will be days you perform poorly. There will be days you feel behind. There will be days you doubt everything. Because quitting on bad days teaches your brain a dangerous rule. If it's uncomfortable, we leave. That rule will destroy your future. Staying rewires the nervous system. Discomfort becomes familiar. Pressure becomes manageable. Loneliness becomes tolerable. Not because they disappear. Because you change. Identity is not motivational. It's structural. It holds when emotions collapse. That's why stubborn people win. Look at your past. Notice the patterns. Where did you quit early? Where did you stay longer than expected? Those moments shaped you. Not the big wins. The quiet refusals to quit. You are not behind. You're unfinished. And unfinished things require staying. Here's a practical discipline. When you feel the urge to quit, delay the decision by 24 hours. Do nothing dramatic. Just show up once more. One more session. One more rep. One more page. Staying once often breaks the quitting loop. Another rule. Never quit on a bad day. Make decisions from strength, not exhaustion. That's discipline. You don't need to announce that you're staying. You don't need to explain yourself. Results will explain everything. You don't need their permission. Identity compounds. The more you stay, the easier staying becomes. The first refusal is hard. The 100th is automatic. That's how unbreakable people are built. Remember this. You don't become strong by intensity. You become strong by continuity. That's the key. One day, you will face something heavy. Something that would crush the old version of you. And you will notice something strange. You won't panic. You won't run. You'll stay. Because that's who you are now. Say it one last time. I stay. That's who I am. Lock it in. Because this identity is the foundation of everything else. You've learned to carry pressure. You've learned to stay alone. Now you've learned to stay, period. And the final step is simple, but brutal. To leave behind the old version of you completely. You've built the identity. Now seal it. Chapter 12. History is written by the last one standing. Most people don't fail. They stop. They stop too early. They stop when results are invisible. They stop when the work stops feeling exciting. And then they call it fate. That's the lie. History is not written by the most talented. It's not written by the smartest. It's not written by the loudest. History is written by the last one standing. That's the key. Time is undefeated. And time rewards one trait above all others. Endurance. You can beat talent with endurance. You can outlast intelligence with endurance. You can bury luck with endurance. But nothing beats endurance. Most people underestimate time. They think success happens in moments. One idea. One break. One opportunity. But success happens through staying. Staying when it's dull. Staying when progress is slow. Staying when nobody is watching. You have a choice. Look closely at anyone remembered. Athletes, builders, leaders, creators. What do they all have in common? They stayed longer than everyone else. Not because it was easy, because they refused to leave. Quitting is common. Endurance is rare. That's why endurance is valuable. That's the key. Psychologically, humans are wired for novelty. We like starting. We like planning. We like imagining outcomes. But the brain resists repetition. Repetition feels boring. And boring is where most people quit. Here's the truth no one wants to hear. Boring is the battlefield. Boring routines. Boring reps. Boring consistency. That's where separation happens. It's not about excitement. It's about discipline. Most people don't lose to obstacles. They lose to time. They simply don't stay long enough for the work to compound. Time doesn't need brilliance. Time needs patience. Repeat this. Time rewards endurance more than brilliance. Say it again. Time rewards endurance more than brilliance. Think about it. If two people start together, and one quits, the other wins by default. No competition required. Outlasting is a strategy. That's the key. You don't need to dominate. You need to remain. You don't need to be first. You need to be last. History doesn't remember intensity. It remembers continuity. Short bursts disappear. Long arcs leave marks. Here's what you must stop doing. Stop measuring progress daily. Stop expecting quick confirmation. Stop abandoning systems because results lag behind effort. Stop confusing silence with failure. Time is working even when you can't see it. Here's what you must start doing. Commit to timelines longer than your emotions. 5 years. 10 years. A decade of consistency. That horizon filters out weak competition instantly. Most people can do anything for a week. Some can do it for a month. Few can do it for years. Be the few. That's the key. Endurance changes psychology. When you know you won't quit, pressure loses power. Doubt loses leverage. Fear loses influence. Because quitting is no longer an option. Weak people ask, is this working yet? Strong people ask, can I keep going? Different question. Different outcome. Endurance is not passive. It's active discipline. Adjusting tactics. Refining habits. Maintaining standards. Without abandoning the mission. You don't need their permission to keep going. No one needs to validate your timeline. History won't ask how you felt. History only asks who remained. Most people stop when they're tired. Professionals stop when the job is done. That's the difference. Endurance also exposes character. Who do you become when there's no finish line in sight? Complaining? Consistent? Focused? Fragile? Time will reveal it. Here's a hard truth. If If you keep going long enough, everyone else leaves. Distractions pull them away. Excuses thin them out. Life wears them down. And suddenly, you're alone again. But this time, you're ahead. Outlasting is quiet. No announcements. No drama. Just showing up after others stop. That's discipline. Endurance turns effort into inevitability. If you stay long enough, results become unavoidable. Not because you forced them, because time did the work. Say this clearly. I don't need to win fast. I just need to last. Say it again. I don't need to win fast. I just need to last. Most people try to sprint life. They burn out. Stubborn people walk steadily. They arrive. History doesn't care about potential. It cares about completion. About what actually existed. About what actually endured. You may feel behind. That feeling is meaningless. The only question that matters is this. Will you still be here? Here's a practical rule. When motivation dies, reduce the task. Don't quit. Shrink it. 1 rep. 1 page. 1 action. Momentum is preserved by movement. Another rule. Never confuse rest with retreat. Rest to continue. Don't rest to escape. That's discipline. Endurance is built by identity. You don't endure because you're strong. You endure because that's who you are. I stay. That's the identity. Remember this. You don't become legendary by moments. You become legendary by decades. By staying long enough that quitting never becomes part of the story. Most people will never know how close they were. Because they left too early. They walked away 1 season before momentum. 1 year before clarity. 1 habit before mastery. Don't make that mistake. You have a choice. Leave early and explain why. Or stay long enough that explanations are unnecessary. You don't need their permission. History has no emotions. No sympathy. No excuses. It records outcomes. And outcomes belong to those who remain. Final truth. Outlast everyone, and history has no choice but to remember you. Say it again. Outlast everyone, and history has no choice but to remember you. You've learned to be stubborn. You've learned to stay alone. You've learned to carry pressure. You've learned to refuse quitting. Now there is only one thing left. To decide, once and for all, that you are done living halfway. You are not here to try. You are here to endure. You are here to remain. You are here to create history. Lock that in. Because what comes next is not another lesson. It's a final decision. You've finished the journey. Now make it permanent. Final closing. Make history. This is the truth. You don't need more confidence. You don't need more talent. You don't need better circumstances. You need to stay. Stay when it's boring. Stay when it's painful. Stay when no one is watching. Because history doesn't remember who started strong. It remembers who refused to quit. So here's your challenge. Pick 1 goal, 1 mission, 1 standard, and decide right now. No matter how long it takes, no matter how hard it gets, you will not walk away. Be stubborn. Stay in the fight. And force the world to remember your name.